This is what it's like to fly premium economy on American Airlines from LAX to London Heathrow on the Boeing 777-300ER. Alright, let's head on the plane and take a look at the experience. Boarding for the flight was at gate 41, right at the front of LAX's Terminal 4. Apparently the microphone and the speakers don't work at this gate, so they were using a megaphone that talked to people to announce boarding groups. They did boarding by biometric boarding using your photo, so no boarding pass or passport that I need to show to get on the plane. Now, once I did get on the plane, they asked to see my boarding pass to know which aisle I went down, and I was in the far aisle, so after the nice walk down the business class section to dream what the lie-flat experience could be like, I made it to the premium economy section. It's a small section of seats, 28 seats in total, in a 2x4x2 configuration with staggered rows. There's 4 rows in the middle section and 3 rows by the windows. The seats themselves are kind of like a domestic first class seat. They're just a little bit wider and a little bit more legroom than economy. Here, you're going to get 38 inches of seat pitch. That's seat back to seat back. That's compared to 31 or 32 inches in economy, so about 6 inches more of legroom. And you'll get 19 inches of seat width with an extra wide armrest compared to the 16 or 17 inches of seat width in economy and narrow armrests. I was in seat 19H, which is the last of the middle row on the aisle section. Now, on the seat back in front of the seat is an in-flight entertainment screen, pretty big. Over to the left of that is a coat hanger. There's also a spot for literature below that and a barf bag. Below that was apparently some trash that somebody else left in there too from a previous flight. Below that, a seat pocket for your stuff, and then there's a leg rest below that, which was honestly not easy for me to use as a 6-foot-tall person. Not really useful, probably much more useful for people that aren't quite as tall. Now, on the seat itself was a bunch of stuff in a sealed plastic bag. We've got some American Airlines headphones, which I didn't use because I've got some great Sony noise-canceling ones, a single pillow, a single blanket. Both of these were nice and soft, and an amenity kit. We'll look inside that later. All seats have AC and USB power under the armrest. This is also where the headsets plug in. My power was kind of loose. The USB outlet didn't work at all. AC did, but I had to fiddle with it quite a bit. There also seems to be no Bluetooth connectivity for headsets to the in-flight entertainment. The in-flight entertainment had a good selection of movies and TV shows. I could also view the beverage menu from here, but not the food. I could see the airplane route and the map of where it was, and I could read the news. This is clearly an attempt to replace the newspapers they used to give out in First and Business, but there's no pictures in the news here, which means no comics, which is lame. I'm only here for the comics. Also, I could chat with other seatmates on the plane, which I didn't actually do. That seems kind of weird. Now, there was also a seat tour up on here where I could watch a video of somebody else really enjoying their seat in a completely empty cabin, which it'd be nice if I didn't have any other people around me. Would make the seat so much better. The in-flight entertainment showed an adjustable leg rest in addition to the footrest that I had. I think this is in the bulkhead seats when they don't have a seat in front of them. My seat didn't have that leg rest. The video also showed that you could take the armrest down where the meal tray is, but mine didn't seem to go down. Now, from start of boarding to wheels up on takeoff, it took about an hour to get everybody on board and the plane up in the air. The cabin lights dimmed for takeoff, and next stop was London. Well, the next stop in a short 9 hours and 55 minutes. There are 2 lavatories at the front of the premium economy cabin that are kind of shared with the regular economy cabin. I say kind of shared because there's not really like a screen or anything to prevent economy passengers from coming up here, but I would say most people didn't come up here except the premium economy passengers. Bathrooms themselves, small but functional. It's an older plane, so they weren't infrared or anything like that. You had to touch the flush and you had to use the water. Now, once we reached our cruising altitude, they began meal and drink service on the same carts that they use for economy. The meal tray is in the armrest. It pops up and folds out with a little flip of this lever. They do have special meals for premium economy, so even though it's on the same carts, it's not the same meal. They had 2 choices originally of meals, but by the time they got to me in the last row, they only had 1 choice, which was the lentil shepherd's pie, served on actual plates with actual silverware. It also came with a side salad, bread, crackers, and a little cake slice. It wasn't really delicious, but it wasn't awful either. We'll call it filling and pleasant. I think you can't go wrong with mashed potatoes. Now, while I've got the table open, let's go ahead and look inside the amenity kit. In here, we've got a toothbrush, toothpaste, lotion, earplugs, lip balm, eye mask, and a pair of socks. After dinner, the lights went down, and it was time to go to sleep. And then just about an hour before landing, the carts came out again for breakfast. Only one option for breakfast, fruit and yogurt plate that came with a warm cinnamon croissant thingy. Honestly, I feel like this was a lot better than the breakfast typically in economy, but it also wasn't fantastic either. Just average. After breakfast time, the in-flight entertainment played a welcome to London video, letting us know we're arriving in the Terminal 3 and about the bus connections that exist to Terminal 4 and Terminal 5 and how we might clear customs. And after that, I had just enough time to finish the Borderlands movie before we landed, a fine piece of airline cinema, if you know what I mean. And after 9 hours and 55 minutes, we landed into a very typically gray London. After clearing immigrations, I am now here in baggage claim, waiting for my bags, and as I do that, I figured I'd complete my review, let you know the pros and cons, let you know whether I think it's worth it, whether you should book one of these premium economy seats for yourself or not, what kind of people that might be good for, or what situation you're in that it might make sense. Okay, so first, pros. The seat was a good. I liked the seat. I like that it's bigger than the regular economy seat. It gives you enough room to be civilized. By that, I mean like you're not so close to the person next to you that you're rubbing shoulders the whole time. I also like that I got some good sleep. I don't know if I should say good sleep, but I definitely got sleep. It was the kind of sleep where like you go to sleep while I'm tossing and turning, maybe not tossing and turning because I'm in a chair, but I'm like lying there and wiggling around, and eventually I feel the drink carts coming by for breakfast. So I think that was good. I don't know that I would say that I feel super rested and refreshed, but I don't feel exhausted. So for me, that was definitely worthwhile. What are the cons? It's definitely not a luxurious experience. The fact that the meals are still on the same carts that come out with economy. The seat doesn't lie flat. It reclines about 4 inches back, which is not like a lot of recline. So you don't really feel like you're in a sleeping position. You're definitely in a seated position, but a seated position where you at least feel you have enough room to kind of wiggle around and not touch others. Also, the plane itself that I was on, this Boeing 777, definitely an old plane. There were still like cigarette ashtrays on the bathroom door, so you could tell the plane was old. So definitely things like the overhead bins, there really weren't enough room in the premium economy section. Like the flight attendants had to stow some people's luggage up in business class because the bins were all full. There's really no underseat storage the way they've kind of like set up the seats. So that did make it a little bit of a challenge with the number of seats and the small overhead bins. Now, to answer the question, is it worth it? I need to tell you how much I paid, let you know whether I thought it was worth it for my situation and what situations it might be worthwhile in. So I bought a economy ticket for this flight and then upgraded it about 2 days before travel for $600 to get into the premium economy seat. I'd been watching how much the upgrade prices were, and over the span of about a month, the lowest was $400 and the most was about $1,200. So I was towards the low spot. I didn't quite get it at the bottom. There is currently no mileage upgrade opportunity out of American Airlines. Like, you can't use your miles to upgrade to premium economy. So you're either going to get in by buying the ticket outright or buying an economy ticket and then waiting till an upgrade window. Check every day. The prices change about every day if you're looking to do that. And now that you know that it could be $400, that might be a cheap one that you look for. So for me, I thought $600 was worthwhile. I really wanted to get to London feeling refreshed. Maybe that's not the right word, but at least not feeling exhausted. My flight came into London at noon. I've got a full day ahead of me, or at least a half day ahead of me. If my flight arrived later, like arrived at 6 p.m. or something like that, I might not be so keen to make sure I can sleep, because then I'd be getting to my hotel and going to sleep, but I've still got, again, a full 9 hours before I'm going to go to sleep, so it was worthwhile for me to be able to have a sleep on the plane. Also, I think depending upon what seat you're in economy, if you're upgrading, could make a difference too. If you're in economy in a middle seat, scrunched in right in the middle, sure, it could definitely be worthwhile to get out of that. If you are already in one of the main cabin extra seats, and maybe you're in one of I'm going to call it the couple seats, there are these main cabin extra seats that just have 2 seats right next to each other, especially if you're at the bulkhead ones. Not that much difference in premium economy versus those. I think premium economy is also good for big people. Like, I'm a big person, broad shoulders, long legs, and so when I'm scrunched in economy really difficult for me on a 10-hour flight. If you're traveling with family, maybe not as important, because you might have a whole row to yourself and you don't mind if you're rubbing arms and shoulders with your fellow traveling mates because they're your family or your friends. The other thing to look at when you're booking a premium economy ticket is how much is the price to a business class upgrade. So on another flight that I've got that I haven't upgraded out of economy yet, I'm looking at the premium economy ticket and the business class ticket, and like premium economy is currently $700 and business class is $1,000. And if that's what it was, I would definitely pay for business class, because the incremental $300 is like way more amazing than the $700 seat. So to answer the question of is it worth it for you, again, depends on your situation, but for the $600 upgrade for me, I felt it absolutely was worth it. Now, another premium economy option you might consider is United's premium economy. You can check out my review of that right here. If you want to see more of my airline reviews, including Singapore Airlines business class, one of my favorite airline seats, you can check out that video right here. Or if your travels are bringing you to London, you might enjoy my London travel series right here and right here. Well, fellow explorers, as usual, I won't say goodbye, because I'll see you in the next video.